turned smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.
You think they released you because you were helping too much people on that?
I thought about that too. That did bother me because
right.
actually one of the letters that one of the staff members gave me was I started out and I had maybe 5 students to 10 students in my first class. But by the time the end of the year left, I was getting an average of 30 to 60 students in each class, and the numbers for the classes was growing like crazy. And
this was a law class?
Yeah, I was doing, well, actually not, I couldn't do law. I was doing educational classes, teaching people how to write letters, to find out what's going on in the case, to communicate with their lawyers, to ask their lawyers what's happening in their case and stuff like that.
Consultation.
How to research, right? How to research case law and stuff like that, and so on, you know, and how to deal with the issue and not their feelings, because you have so many people that deal with their feelings and presenting their arguments and stuff like that,
right? And
rather than deal with the issue. So I just try to get people focus on what's relevant, you know.
What advice would you have given Tory Lanez?
That's a difficult one. That's a good question, though. You know, see, advice.
You've overlooked this case before.
Yeah, advice is hard for people. The hardest part that I find is you have to find people that's willing to listen. They don't have to accept what you're giving. So, you know, when you're going into that, like I told you earlier, I helped Prince out, right?
Right.
One of the things with me and Prince, we had a couple of conflicts back and forth, but it wasn't that he wasn't listening. It was just that you had a clash of heads with 2 drug kingpins trying to tell each other what to do. And when you have say, for example, drug kingpins, it's difficult to tell them what to do, give them instructions, because they used to being a boss, and they used to telling other people what to do.
Right.
And everybody's also so used to following instructions. So a lot of times when you're talking to people, and I'm not saying that to say anything bad about Prince. Prince was very intelligent. He was very aware of his case, what was going on, what he needed and what he didn't need. For example, I wanted him to do a compassionate release motion. He said, no, I want to do a 404B motion. But he was smart enough to sit down with you and have an intelligent conversation as to why. A lot of people are not. You know, so you can't give them advice. And sometimes you'll burn yourself out by trying to give them advice, because I used to always tell people, you want help, you need help, but you won't let me help you. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to do things their way, and how do you do things your way? And this is what I used to try to teach people in school, when you don't understand the rules and the procedures. You know, like you might have some top-notch paralegals that's helping people, assisting people in writing motions and drafting their motions, and then you ask them, hey, what's Rule 4? And they have no idea.
They can't tell you.
They can't tell you.
What is Rule 4, by the way?
Just
so I know.
Rule 4 in a 2255 motion is like a summary motion, a summary judgment motion. You know, it's when the judge makes a ruling on your case. You know, but like I said, you got so many different rules, and most people don't take the time out to read them, to study them, and so on, you know.
How long did it take you to become versed in all this stuff?
Well, I don't still think I'm versed in it, you know what I'm saying? Because I pick up, one of the reasons I designed Paralegal Pal is to assist me in my law work. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the laws change. Like, you might think that you are aware of a rule, but 2 days ago they might have changed it in the court system. And so Rule 10A don't mean the same thing that it used to mean 2 days ago. Now you might have to find or apply Rule 10B. You know, so you have to be prepared to research, shepherdize, and update your legal research almost every day.
I mean, okay, so how long did it take for you before you were able to teach other people?
I think when I first started teaching the classes, I think I was into maybe about 20 years or so.
20
You know what I'm
years.
saying? Right. Yeah. You know, and I don't think that I was smart enough or wise enough to teach. One of the things that I did realize is that a person with a third grade education is much smarter than the person with a first grade education. So I figured I still had to, no matter where I was, I had to share the information
Right.
or the knowledge that I had with other people to make them a little bit better than they actually was, you know?
Some people listened and it benefited them.
Right.
What do you think the wall was for the people that didn't listen?
Some people don't know how to listen. If you look at statistics show that in a daily conversation, 85% of your people don't listen. You got maybe about 15% of people that actually listen with the intent to understand. And most of your daily conversations, you have people listen with the intent to rebuttal or respond and not to understand why you're saying certain things and so on.
You mentioned emotions earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What stopped you from being emotional? Or did you go through that phase?
I went through that phase. I most definitely went through that phase, but then I realized that it wasn't getting me nowhere. When you sit there and you pay attention to your responses, if you watch what the prosecutors are saying, and you watch and listen to what the judge is saying, and you listen with the intent to understand, you could see it a lot better. You know, you could see, oh my God, what he's saying is correct. I'm actually doing something wrong. A lot of us, our ego won't let us see it. We want to be so right or so correct that we listen with a deaf ear and a closed mind. And so we say, oh, he's doing this to me because I'm black, or he's doing this to me because he doesn't understand me or he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In reality, it's you who don't care to listen or to understand what's being said to you. You know, like one of the things that caught my attention is at mainline is when you have chow, when you go in to eat, right? At lunchtime, they usually have the counselors and case managers there. So as an inmate, if you have any complaints, you can go to your counselor and your case manager and talk to them, ask them questions, and they have an obligation or duty to help you out. And so I used to always see this one guy go to his counselor and case manager, and he used to say, man, I asked you to do this 10 times, man. You haven't done it yet. And I'm tired of asking you, man. And what I got to do? I got to go to your boss. I got to do this. And the counselor was saying something real simple. All you got to do is put it on a BP-8, which is a form, request asking me what you're going to do, what you want me to do. And if you don't do that, then I'm not going to answer your request. And so when I looked at the rules, right, the rules said that a counselor or case manager don't have to answer or oral requests, but he must. It's mandatory that he answer requests that's in writing. So if this guy would have just listened to what he said, took 5-10 minutes and put it in writing, he would have had his answer. But instead he chose not to. Maybe he couldn't read it right. I don't know. But he, you know.
Or maybe he was emotional.
Or maybe he was emotional and just didn't care to listen to what he was saying, or thought by telling you, if I'm telling you, what do I have to put it in writing for? You know, but not looking at the fact that what he's telling them is, because my rules are saying I don't have to do anything until you do this. If you don't do A or B, then I can't help you. And that was a great learning point for me, because I realized that in drafting law and doing law, if you don't follow the procedures of the court, then the court doesn't have to listen to you. And if you look at 90% of the law, not the laws, but the opinions and the motions that get denied that defendants file, is because they fail to follow procedures. And the courts are not even going to the merits of the claim because they didn't follow the simple rules.
So what were the stipulations that brought you your freedom? How did you Once you started, I mean, but besides helping everybody else get out, like what overturned your situation? Because 3 consecutive life sentences, you know, you're not 175 right now.
Right.
So.
You know, well, see, a lot of it has to do with
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.